Hello everyone, welcome to the video. Over the next 10 weeks, I have taken it upon myself to master every game mode in Minecraft by using the spear. And this week, I will be attempting to use the sword and the spear together. Anyways, stick around to see what happens. So, this is the first duel that I ever did in the challenge, and on the first day, I decided that I would do some duels just to see where my was, and it went as expected. I would, for about 4 hours that day, just lose a fight, and then win a fight, and then lose a fight. But what I gained from this preliminary test was the fact that my attribute swapping was not as fast as it needed to be, and I relied on the charge attack more than the attribute swapping with the jab attack. This led me to lose several fights, including this one, because instead of attribute swapping and using the range of the spear, I would just try and charge attack them and get crit out. Like in this fight, where I died because I tried to use the charge attack. Now this next fight was later in the day, and it was after I had been practicing attribute swapping on people for about 3 hours, and I had finally gotten way more consistent at it. A trend I had noticed is that not everyone was very good with attribute swapping, and oftentimes when I won, it was because they were using the spear to jab attack me instead of using the sword attribute swapping, and this was causing them to lose because we had similar attack cooldowns, but I was just dealing more damage. And on the morning of day 2, I decided it was time to hop into a creative world to practice my spear swapping, because that was what I had been failing with the most on day 1. So, in my creative world, I gave the zombie resistance and speed, and practiced using the sword and the spear together. Not only attribute swapping, but the charge attack and the jab attack as well. And after a while, I was finally doing well at attribute swapping and was hitting 4 out of 5 of my attribute swaps. I did this in the creative world for around 3 hours. I'll only show you a small clip of it today. This is about how it went. Now, after my creative world practice on day 2, I was excited on day 3 to hop back into some duels. And here's what happened. I could tell that my creative world testing and training the day before had improved my skill a lot. I was able to attribute swap way faster and more effectively, and all together on the same time. And I was able to get some awesome combos in. And for the rest of day 3, I kept on doing duels and practicing getting combos in. I was now at about a 50-50 win to loss ratio, and I was able to figure out how to use the jab attack way more effectively. Also, in the middle of day 3, there was a large storm that took place in my area, and our internet kind of started going out and it was really laggy, which caused me to lose a few rounds. So after the storm on day 3, I decided that because it was too laggy for me to continue attribute swapping correctly, I would practice my aim using an online aim simulator. And that is what I did for the last 2 hours of my day on day 3. It was finally day 4, and on day 4, I decided that it was time for me to learn how to use the jab and the charge attack correctly together. So, for the rest of day 4, I practiced using about 50-50 jab and charge attack, as well as keeping my jab attacks as attribute swappings, because this was more effective. It was finally day 5 and day 6. These were the 2 most boring days of the entire challenge, as I just spent them focusing on attribute swapping, using the jab and charge attack evenly, and it was basically just a montage for 2 days. Not much interesting happened. I was getting my win rate up. I was still losing, however, because there was one thing I realized, that despite all my training with the sword and the spear, I was not good at sword PvP alone, and if I got into a close hand-to-hand combat with someone, I would always lose. This theme would keep reoccurring throughout all of my training on day 5 and 6. One other thing I noticed on day 5 and 6, when I was turning around to start a charge attack during a combo, or trying to get out of a combo to start a charge attack, I usually would lose about 3 to 4 hearts every time, because I realized the opponents would take advantage of me turning around to try and crit me out if they possibly could. And this was really not good for me. It was finally day 7, the final day of the challenge. And today, to test my skill, I was gonna see how many wins in a row I could get. Here's what happened. So, during this first duel, I did not go in strong. I messed up my charge attack in the first engagement, but my attribute swaps were on point, and I was able to keep the health fairly even, and then eventually start to overcome my opponent. I was overusing my spear, but I finally was able to get a good combo in and finish them off. And then this next one is the last fight I ever did on this challenge. It started out weak again. The opponent had the advantage on health until I led with a charge attack that they were not able to counter. And finally, I was not doing well with my attribute swaps, and he was able to get a lot of free hits in. But I finally was able to hit a good attribute swap. He was able to do some swapping against me, get more health back, but I was able to attribute swap and outdeal him. I missed the attribute swap, missed the jab attack, he hit me, and I finished it. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please subscribe. I'm trying to hit 10 subscribers before the end of April. Thanks.